Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. I'm really excited to sit down and talk to Debra Wanger. Debra, how are you? Good to have you on the show.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I always love interviewing other coaches, so I'm happy to have you on the show. I want to tell everybody a little bit about you. You have a book out called The Resilient Actor, How to Kick Ass in the Business Without It Kicking Your Ass. It's available on Amazon, and we'll talk a little bit later about how your Audible book is also available. And it's your voice, which I always think is great because I have a book and it's not my voice. And so I always wanted it to be. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You're also a certified Bulletproof human potential coach studying in a year-long program with the Bulletproof Certified Coach Training Program with Dave Asprey and Dr. Atkinson. And you also have a 2020 companion workbook for your book. You've been busy, Debra. It's good to have you on the show. Where I'd like to kind of start the conversation going is I've been following Dave Asprey for some time and the whole Bulletproof thing that he has been talking about and promoting and the science behind it, et cetera. And so what drew you to Bulletproof?
Well, I had a tough health journey. I did everything wrong for a long time. I was when I was a young actor, I was, I worked professionally, and I was achieving my dreams as, career-wise, but I was fat and broken out and depressed and lonely and not doing well. So I was on quite a health journey, and that led me to lots of things that we'll probably end up talking about. But I could never control my weight. I had depression and all these things that I never could figure out what to do with. And then after my pregnancies, I had twins, and after that, I was totally depleted. So that led me down the Google rabbit hole, and I found Dave Asprey and his blogs at the time. This was before the book. This is before, this is like 10 years ago. This is, it seemed so crazy it was like all the advice you're not supposed to do, like eat more butter and eat more fat. And
right.
I've tried everything else. What the hell? Let's do it. So I tried it. And I felt better. I looked better. I got my weight off, and it was easy and satisfying pretty quickly. And that's how it started. And I helped a friend lose 80 pounds by informally coaching them. And they said, if he ever does a coaching program, you should be a coach. And I said, okay, well, if they do a coaching program, I'll be first in line. And I was one of the first 50 people he ever certified as coach. And just downloading his brain was worth it.
I bet. It's the, I'm 48, so I'm a product of the, fat-free 80s. Everything was fat, right? But it is amazing. The power of food. It is Hippocrates always talked about. The right food will heal you. And it's not always the end all be all, but I've seen that in many cases. I have a question for you though. You're talking about depression and food, and right now, a couple of weeks ago, I had a mental awareness week because I feel like with everything that's going on with COVID and what I'm reading and studying, there seems to be an increase in isolation and depression, and so. Can you talk a little bit about that as far as just the people who are going through what you went through, especially right now?
Yeah, I mean, the emotional Corona coaster has kicked my butt initially as well. It's been something like we've never experienced before.
Right.
Self-care is so friggin' important right now.
Yeah.
Regular exercise does so much for the mood. Even if you don't feel like it, just jumping jacks, anything really helps get the physicality helps the mental state a tremendous amount. Trying to stay away from the sugar helps a tremendous amount because, the sugar and the alcohol and all those things that make us feel good in the short term often make us feel worse in the big picture. And whatever issues we're dealing with, it compounds it.
Yeah.
I have set up a discipline for a lot of my clients to make 3 contacts a day, to get on the phone, text, make a phone call, do a Zoom call, something, but reach out to 3 people a day. What, and it can be people who are close, people your family, people you haven't talked to since summer camp. I actually did a summer camp reunion call last week. It was a blast.
But,
yeah, I haven't seen it.
Right. I went to summer camp. I mean, summer camp was some of the best summers of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the highlight. And it sucked that my kids got robbed of that this year. So just reaching out to anybody, because the connection and reminding of that there are people out there, but there's also people who need to talk to us.
Yeah.
The whole thing about help other people helps you, doing service. So whoever you need it, but whoever you're calling probably needs a call too. So even if it's just a quick, I'm thinking about you, or, hey, can you talk? That makes a huge amount.
Yeah.
And, trying to keep routines when you can. That's true. And anything that you can do to help you feel safe right now, because there's so much uncertainty. There's so much, coming at us from the news.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is I'm really limiting news and just Facebook and social media, in the sense of, I do my business on there, but I try to get out, because when I get scrolling, it's just so much negativity and so much fear that just, that doesn't help. So.
Yeah, you got to be able to turn it off. I find myself taking a day or two off here, and then I don't know what's going on, but I'm okay with it because you can speed up really quickly. There's two apps I love, which is 5 Things by USA Today and then Up First by NPR. They basically tell you the news if you listen to it a time and a half, and it takes about 8 minutes. And so when I take a day or two off of the news, all I have to do is listen to 2 days of that. And I'm kind of up to speed and, feel worldly again.
Great.
But I want to talk to you about that, because that, everything we're talking about right now, and the name of your book, the Resilient Actor. But I just want to kind of zoom in on the word resilient, because I think right now, it's been 6 months and we've all been living in this COVID world, and it's caused many people, if not, I don't want to say all, but many, if not all, people to tap into an inner resilience that they really maybe didn't even know they had, to the extent that they had it. And I don't think that's stopping. It's still going, and will for a little bit of time. But when you were naming your book, I just want to kind of get into the DNA of the word resilient and how that resonates with you.
Yeah, well, resilient is not that, I didn't name it the perfect actor, or the nothing bad ever happens to me actor, or the I got this made actor, or it's all easy actor, Yeah. The resilience is about, stuff's going to happen. It's not all going to be easy, but when bad things happen, you can recover quickly. Right. And then you've got the tools to weather the storm. And on the cover, I got me and with some boxing gloves on.
Yeah.
And that's the whole metaphor of being a boxer, that people are going to punch at you. That's just what comes with it. But if you're exhausted and worn out when you come into the ring, one good punch, you're knocked out. Yeah. Whereas you've gotten enough sleep, you've taken care of yourself, your mental state's in a good place, you got a good mindset, you can take a lot more punches before you're going to fall down.
Right. Yeah. And so when it comes to the world of acting, are you, those are my dogs, which means they're like my co-hosts sometimes, right? My kids are doing school right now. I'm not sure, but if my dogs are barking, that means my wife is not home or something. So
that's just very 2020. My kids are upstairs doing school. My dogs are barking, and here we are.
It is what it is. Right. And but it adds character, right? There's a realness to you said your book isn't called The Perfect Actor, and it's nice because in today's world, everyone's seeing the imperfections of everything and quickly getting comfortable with the imperfections of everything, and it's really changing the landscape, I think, of work. And it's changing the landscape of expectations, and I think what perfection means. And so when you look at what today's world is, and when you kind of like put it side by side with you're a human potential coach, right? It's like, I think what gets in our way, and I see this as a coach, what gets in our way of potential is ourselves, right? And the false expectation of what we think we need to be and where we need to go, and wanting so much overnight when we need to be comfortable with delayed gratification. So that was a lot in a question, but my question to you is, how are you as a coach who's helping people tap into their potential, balancing everything, all the shifts in the world right now?
How does it affect my clients, or how is it affecting my coaching?
Both.
Well, it has been a pivot for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my industry, is dead right now. People are not performing. Theaters are closed. Broadway is dark till at least 2021.
Yeah.
Aside from a couple little teeny renegade things or a few people who are doing stuff online, the industry's dead.
Yeah.
A little bit of Hollywood's starting to get going, but it's still, it was devastated.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a long time before live audiences are coming back and people are back in theaters. The movie industry is going to, took a huge hit aside from, home viewing.
Right.
So,
Mulan.
Yeah, which I guess didn't do well.
It was too expensive. I mean, that's the feedback I got. People are like, well, if I already have it, why am I going to pay $29.95 or however much it was?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe $10, but $30. They tried something and it didn't work. But
yeah,
we're excited to see it, but not at that price point.
Correct.
And so people are also with coaching are concerned about spending money, and I think I mentioned safety. So many people are having trouble creating right now. Or at least I think people there's a little bit, we're adjusting, we're doing a little bit better in general. We're kind of getting used to, okay, we're going to be here for a while, so let's make the most of it. But the biggest pivot was helping my clients. It wasn't about being creative yet. It's like, until you get your basic human needs taken care of, it's really hard to be creative.
Yeah.
It was for me and for my clients. It was like, let's work on feeling safe first.
Yeah.
Let's work on feeling like the world's not coming to an end first.
Right.
Let's feel on let's stop, pooping in our pants when we watch the news, just because it's so scary.
Yeah.
So a lot of calming and stress reducing and connecting, like we were talking about before, and really, getting back to the basics. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating crap? Are you drinking 3 bottles of wine a night? Let's get down to the basics first. Help you feel safe and connected. And then we have the luxury of getting back to work.
Yeah.
Getting back to work, being creative, because you do have to be really extra creative right now to make your own opportunities.
Yeah.
Figure out how to get your butt online and how to do things outside and all that. So I think that was one of the biggest pivots, is helping, taking a step back.
Yeah.
And stop pushing the business part, and just let's take care of you, because there's a lot of kind of just scared little kids running around going, oh my God, it's bad and daddy's not taking care of us.
It's interesting. I was watching the U.S. Open these past 2 weeks, and yesterday, they were the commentators were talking about how one of them mentioned that they didn't mind that there was no audience, and they said, but they actually kind of liked it because for the athletes, they couldn't play off of the fans. They had to really tap into themselves. They had to really they had to really focus like they had never focused before, and do it like literally from within, without the external. And I think that's what kind of we're all going through in a way right now is, we have to continually, dig deep. But I want to dive into more kind of feeling safe and breathing and eating and sleeping and those rituals and those, because it's really easy to eat a lot of cookies and junk when you are, it's like you almost, because it's almost sometimes the only thing that grounds you. I know for the first 6 weeks when this happened, my wife and my kids and I were making cookies and cakes. And I mean, we were like joking that I was joking that I gained it was like freshman 15 COVID-19, right? You're like, but, and then you kind of got to figure out the new rhythm of your days and your new rhythm of human interaction. Where are you? I don't even know where you live, Debra.
I'm in San Diego. I'm in beautiful California.
Oh, you're in San Diego. Okay. So my thoughts for all the fires out in San Diego, and prayers to everyone out there.
Yeah, luckily for us at this point, the closest fire is about 45 minutes an hour away.
Yeah.
We can see it in the air. I mean, my heart goes out to all the people who lost homes or waiting for news or, lost their lives. So,
I know, me too. But we are 3 hours apart. We're sitting here talking via Zoom. We've been connected by people. This is a little of the norm right now. And so, how are you coaching your clients from a day-to-day, how to get through the day, how to get through the hours that are the most stressful? We all have kind of that 1 hour block where it's like all hell goes to,
Yeah.
Right? So how are you, let's zoom into that element.
Yeah, it's hard. And if you're working in your kitchen and there's the cookie jar right there, right? You're looking at the fridge all day long. You're just it's 2 minutes away. It's harder.
Right.
Well, that is one of the things is if you don't have it in the house, you're not going to eat it. It's a lot harder to get to it. The more steps it takes to get the junk, the harder, the less likely you are. If there's a cookie jar right there, or the Cheetos are right there, you're more likely to eat them. Another thing is to try instead of thinking about resisting the junk, it's adding in more of the good stuff. So you're not, so if your body really gets a lot of good nutrition and, fiber and water and, eat a lot of veggies and fruit and quality proteins and quality fats, you're less likely, you're not going to have as much room or as much craving for the junk.
Right.
So start with the good stuff. So instead of thinking about, I got to take things away, which human nature, nobody likes to take stuff,
Right.
Add more good stuff and leave a little less room for the bad stuff. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Concentrate on what you're doing right and what you can do. Chug a big glass of water first thing. Have a fruit with fiber, or have a green smoothie, or, have a bulletproof coffee, right? But the more good fats that we're having, the more hydrated we are, the better sleep. It's all going to, good habits bring on good habits, You can spiral upward or spiral downward.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Also, I just habit building. I like to, I'm definitely the Atomic Habits, James Clear camp of things, habits. If you can't, have one sip of water, have an ounce of water, do one push-up, take one step around the block, have the habit be put on your running shoes. You don't have to run, just put your running shoes on. And that's the habit. The more you can build these good habits that are very achievable and you get easy wins, that's helpful. And, if you know yourself, are you a person who, if you have one bite of cake, you're going to have the whole cake? Because I am.
Yeah.
Or are you a person who can do one cookie and do portion control, or, put it in different baggies and you can have one. And so it's figuring out what yourself. For me, I got to stay away from sugar, or I'm just.
Yeah. Figuring out what works for you. So let's talk about your book, Debra. So you wrote this book. It's called The Resilient Actor, right? How to Kick Ass in the Business Without It Kicking Your Ass. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible. You've got a workbook. But with the way the world is today, it could be the resilient blank, right? How to kick ass in any business without any business kicking your ass. I mean, I'm not changing the name of your book, but it could be very relevant. So talk a little bit about some of the things that people will get from reading your book, especially in today's world, both as I know you work with a lot of actors and creatives, but also business people as well.
Yeah. I mean,
They're not business people. I didn't mean it like that. Not business people, but
actors and regular people.
And corporate type people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't work only with actors. But entrepreneurs and actors there's a lot of crossover. I mean, entrepreneurs are basically auditioning for jobs. They're always hustling. They're always, they're selling themselves. It's that same kind of hustle. There's the same kind of uncertainty. There's the same kind of hot streaks and periods of unemployment. It's the same a lot of the same issues. So I saw a joke that it could be the resilient accountant, the resilient wallpaper hanger. I mean, a lot of it's the same stuff. So I go through a lot of the basics, sleep, hydration, stress management, supplementation, exercise, the basics. And some of it I do like what your grandma told you, and some of it's more the kind of the out there biohacking, but bulletproof versions. It's like I kind of try to have all of that in there. And then I get into mindset and, how do you deal with rejection and, going into auditioning and treating it like the audition is your job, not actually doing the job, and how to get your head right, because so much of it, like you were mentioning, is we get in our own way, and so much of it is our mindset and how our expectations, and we have to be perfect, or oh my God, they're judging me, or all that kind of stuff. So the mindset's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And then I get into goals and habits and daily practices. And I break down like kind of how to figure out what those should be. What should your habits and practices be? And that's part of the reason why I did the workbook and the planner, was to really break that down and figure out, okay, now I know what I should be doing. How do I get it into my day?
Yeah.
How do I actually do it? Because that's a huge disconnect is I know what I should do. How do I do it? How do I do it? So I get into a lot of that stuff. And
good. It's like
I wish I had known when I started. I wrote it for myself. I wrote it for young me.
Yeah.
To kind of everything that would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of grief if I had figured it out.
Yeah. Based on that topic, let's talk about mentors and the importance of mentors. I'm a big believer. We all need 3 mentors. They help us stay on track, accelerate our growth, get rid of distractions, help us get out of our own way. Who are some of your mentors and what have they taught you? And I'm a big fan, and I promote this a lot, which is, you're never too young to have a team of mentors. And, I look back like you, and I think I've had some amazing mentors. I've had some people who I thought were mentors who were not. That's always a burn. And then I wish I had other mentors when I didn't even really know what the word mentor meant. Mm-hmm. And so talk about some of the mentors in your life and the importance of why everybody should have a minimum of 3.
Oh gosh, I wish I had that many. And I think there's people who were mentoring you didn't even realize it. People who were role models and you didn't even realize that they made such a big impact. I worked at the Creative Artist Agency in Los Angeles, which was at the time the biggest talent agency in the world. And I worked on a feature film talent desk, and then I worked on a television talent desk. And my boss had come from being a casting director and had been in the business for a very long time, and she was now a television agent. And agents are like the poster child for not not calm and healthy and whatever. They tend to be go go go, everything's work.
Yeah.
I mean, think Ari on Entourage.
That's good.
Yeah. That's not that far off, right? That's it's caricature, but not that far off. But she was like a healthy, normal person with a family and balance, and she was able to turn it off at the end of the day. She got her work done, but she was able to have fun. And she really modeled a whole different existence in Hollywood than I had ever experienced. She was nice. Like, you can do that. You don't have to be a jerk to succeed. And that kindness to people goes so far. And that's something I wish I had learned a long time. You don't have to be mean to step on people to get up to the top. In fact, it's the opposite. The more kind and generous and helpful you are with everyone, the better. And you also never know who that person's going to end up becoming. They could be your boss, or your boss's best friend, or your boss's girlfriend, or your whatever, or someday. So you never know.
I agree.
But she, it sounds so obvious, but don't be a jerk, right?
Yeah.
But she really modeled for me and helped me figure out a lot more about balance and having a life. And it's not just work. It's that whole cycle of work and then recovery, whether it's physical work, whether it's, working out. You can't just run every day. You got to take some yoga days or some rest days or some, athletes don't train every day, right? And we, especially when we're self-employed, tend to want to go and figure out all the time. Got to step back and and breathe and recover and all that. So she really did a lot for me, and also just made the atmosphere really fun.
Yeah, good. Good. That's important. Good. Well, that's great. Kudos to her, and kudos to you for being open and to her guidance and feedback. But I agree with you. You don't have to be mean to climb up in the world. You can be firm and not mean. But I've been in companies where they don't promote that, and so sometimes people get stuck in that. So you still you got to kind of know who you are and take care of yourself so you can stay grounded, and either stay yourself or move to a different company or start your own.
And a lot of that's insecurity.
Yeah.
A lot of that is I'm being a jerk because I'm scared.
Right.
I'm scared you're not going to like me. I'm scared I'm not enough if I'm just me and calm and happy and kind. So, a lot of that. So it's, let's try to have some compassion. But, it's a lot of it's mindset, and it comes down to being nice and taking care of yourself, being nice to yourself.
Yep, I agree. I'm rereading for like the 7th or 8th time right now, The 4 Agreements, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And just being impeccable with your word, it is so key. Speaking of that, I want to move into the speed round. What's your favorite book and why?
Oh, well, I do love the four agreements. I just read The Mastery of Love, which is the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Yeah. And some of the things I needed to hear. Same thing. It's that the 4, so I'll just go with that because that's on my mind. Yeah. But that the, just the core wisdom of that he boils it down to some really good stuff.
Really good things. Yeah. Best piece of wisdom you ever received, Debra?
Oh my goodness. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
That's a good one.
Be authentic.
In 2020, the one thing people need to do to be resilient is
get enough sleep.
Yeah. So sleep is so
prioritize sleep.
Yeah. I'll add hydrate too to that one because I think people don't drink enough water.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. A lot of people are so dehydrated.
Start with a big glass of water first thing in the morning. Then you're already like, woo! You already got a big chunk of it done.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And my last question is one takeaway that you want people to take away from the book.
It's not wimpy or woo-woo or weird to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself to have the strength and the resilience and the base, the foundation to be able to go out in the world and kick ass.
Yeah, I love it. Tell people how they can get a hold of you, how they can buy your book, where they can buy it, and all that other good stuff.
DebraWanger.com is the best place to find me and reach me and hear samples of the book and hear samples of me singing and my whatever gigs I'm doing. And when this world is speaking again, and where my speaking gigs are, links to buying the book, all of that. So DebraWanger.com. The books are on Amazon and Audible. And I'm just doing my thing, trying to walk the roller coaster, All
right, good. Well, keep on doing your thing. Keep on being resilient and preaching resilience. I think it's so important, especially in today's world. We all need to constantly be reminded that we, can get back up no matter, how hard things are. And I appreciate you sending that message, and I appreciate you taking time to be on the show, and I appreciate everybody who's listening. And if Debra can help you out, check out DebraWanger.com. Thanks, Debra.
Take care.
Appreciate you being on the show.
My pleasure.